Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got your Week 4 start and sit lineup for the running back position. Make sure you guys are paying attention to this week. We've got a Thursday night game and 2 Monday night games. And of course, if you haven't already, check out our quarterback start and sit video. And we're going to jump right into this. Week 4 of the NFL is here, and I wanted to get you guys ready for this week. Again, we are talking running backs, full PPR or half PPR. If it is a standard league, hit me up in the comments down below. I'd love to help you guys out with those lineup questions. Now, these are your obvious starts at the running back position. I've only got a few here that I feel pretty confident, no matter it's the matchup or they are just an absolute bell cow. They will get you enough points to have great success this week. Now, the first running back I want to recommend as a good start this week is going to be Devin Singletary versus the Cowboys on Thursday night. Now, if you are going to start Devin Singletary, make sure you put him in your running back slot. Do not put him in the flex for a Thursday night game, just in case you need to fill that spot. Now, this is an amazing matchup for Singletary against the league's worst run defense in Dallas. Dallas will make run stopping a huge factor and focus, I guarantee you, this week. But they just almost gave up 300 rushing yards on the ground last week to the Baltimore Ravens. They also gave up almost 200 rushing yards to the Saints. They are just absolutely bleeding out right now against the run, and they have not been able to be successful. With that said, though, Dallas has allowed 36 points a game and 2 touchdowns per game to the back as well. Singletary had a great game last week and should continue that success this week for Thursday night. Again, great matchup for Devin Singletary. He should be in your lineup. Another running back I like this week is going to be Tony Pollard versus the Dolphins. Pollard had a great start to the season and then laid a dud for week 3. Green Bay was up, so the running game became kind of ineffective, and Pollard was a no factor in that game, even in the receiving aspect. Now, he's got a great matchup against Miami this week. Miami allows 108 yards on the ground per game and has allowed a touchdown per game as well to the running back position. Pollard is the primary back for the Tennessee Titans, and if they want to have some success to the Dolphins, which are essentially quarterbackless at this moment, right now, this is a great game for Pollard to have some success. I do like Tajay Spears if you're really in a deeper league, but I think with Pollard being kind of the bell cow essentially in this offense, I still think he's a great matchup. Now, another running back I really like this week is going to be Brian Robinson Jr. versus the Cardinals. The Cardinals allow 110 yards per game on the ground and 21 points to the running back position. Last week, they gave up 188 yards on the ground to the Lions, and Brian Robinson Jr. is really getting the bulk of the carries, especially now with this week, Austin Eckler's out due to a concussion. So he is going to get a majority of the touches, which means he has a lot of opportunities to have some success. Commanders will need to run the ball to keep the Cardinals offense off the field, and again, allow them to have a chance to beat them. It's going to be a good matchup. I'm excited to watch this game, especially when it comes to the quarterback position with Jaden Daniels and Kyler Murray. But I think Brian Robinson is going to be a nice play this week, and he should be in your lineup. Now, as far as the sits go, my first running back is going to be Kenneth Walker versus the Lions. The Lions are the best against the run, only running backs to 8.8 points a game. And the last 2 games, they've only allowed 44 yards on the ground per game and 0 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. That was against backs like Rashad White, James Conner. Again, nothing that I would say is elite, but really good running backs. Now, we'll say this. Walker is also coming off of an injury, and he is expected to play, at least as of right now when this video is recorded. And there's still a chance, though, I do think Charbonnet is going to have touches. They may ease Walker in and still have Zach Charbonnet getting a good chunk of the touches. So even with that said, I'm not going to put Kenneth Walker in this week if he does come back from injury. Another running back I'm not in love with this week is going to be James Cook versus the Ravens. Look, the Ravens have allowed the least amount of yards per game on the ground, only allowing 39 yards a game. James Cook has played really well for the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills have slowly introduced Ty Johnson, though, which is kind of an interesting aspect. And I think a lot of it is because they really, truly want to use the rushing attack to help alleviate the receiving core and, of course, not put everything onto Josh Allen's shoulders. Cook will be hard to sit, though, because he has played really well so far this season. He's RB6 so far, and he's averaging 20 points a game. So this is a really tough one to sit. I think if you've got him, you're going to put him in. but just have some understanding that there's a good chance he lays a dud this week against this tough defense. I think Ravens are pretty good against the run, and they're going to show it this week. But just hesitation. If I have other options, again, hit me up in the comments. I think I might put somebody else in instead of James Cook. And speaking of that, another running back that's going to be a big name is going to be Jonathan Taylor. I don't love his matchup this week against the Steelers. Steelers did a great job holding the league's leading rusher in J.K. Dobbins last week to only 44 yards. Steelers have been great against the run and only allowing 14 points a game to the running back position total. JT has been on a hot streak the last 2 weeks. He's averaging over 100 yards per game in the last 2 games. So it's really hard to bench him. And he just came off a 26-point performance where he had 2 touchdowns as well. So this one, again, like I mentioned with James Cook, you're going to start him. But if you have other options, depending how deep you are at the running back position, or there's just a better matchup, you may want to put him on your bench. It's going to be tough, obviously, because he's probably your first running back you drafted. And he has actually done a really good job the last 2 weeks. But there's a chance that he may have an unsuccessful game and maybe get you 10 points. And if you're okay with 10 points, okay. But just understand, I don't think he's going to have an amazing game like he has the last couple weeks. Now, my sleeper for the week is Deontay Foreman for the Browns versus the Raiders. There's a chance that Ford may miss the game. We're not really sure. We're keeping an eye on that. But the Raiders have not been great against the run. They've actually allowed a lot of points. And Foreman may be a sneaky play this week. I wanted to put DeAndre Swift, but he's been unsuccessful. He looks like he can't figure out how to run behind this offensive line. He's not reading the blocks well. He's not doing the cutbacks. He's not seeing the lanes. I'm not sure what it is, but he's got a really good matchup against the Rams. So it's tempting to put him as a sleeper. I didn't put him in here officially because I'm really holding back on putting him in there, but this matchup against the Rams is really good. They are not great against the run, and they're allowing a lot of yards on the ground. So there's a chance. If there's a chance for DeAndre Swift, it's going to be this week. So those are my start, sits, and sleepers for week 4 of the NFL. Again, if you haven't already, check out my start and sit quarterback position. If you guys have questions for your lineup, hit me up in the comments down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit that like button. I'll check you guys out next time.